Welcome along to episode 784 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we've got lots of music for you. We've got Dinky with their latest release, an album on the way. We'll be hearing Ricard Sewell about his work promoting his music on TikTok. I'll be catching up with Evolution of Fishermen about their appearance in the Stafford Gatehouse Shakespeare Festival and Twelfth Night, where they get to be the band, and loads more besides. Also, we'll be finding out about the brilliant work being done by veterans in the workplace and how they're well worth giving a role to. And on top of that, we'll be finding out about Unfortunate, the musical at the Grand coming up in July. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now, Unfortunate, the untold story of Ursula is at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre from the 11th through to the 14th of July. We have the wonderful Shawna Hamic joining us to tell us a bit more about the show and what it's like to be Ursula. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, good to have you along. And we start with the fact that you're absolutely a legend. So this is a good starting point. And
am I? That's
I
surprising.
think so. Come on, you're the attention you're attracting for being in this show, and it's a hit parody musical. Explain a bit more about what we can expect here.
Well, Unfortunate is the story of the Little Mermaid, but it is told from Ursula's side. So it's actually Ursula's story. So we get to meet Ursula as a child, as a sexy teenager, an angsty teenager, and then of course we go through the storyline that most people are familiar with, certainly from The Little Mermaid by Disney, where we have Ariel and things like that. But it's mostly the perspective of what happened from Ursula's point of view and what made her into the Octo-Woman she is that we know and love.
Now, this has got to be a great role to play. I mean, Octo-Woman, what more could you ask for to have on your CV?
Exactly. No, I've actually always loved Ursula. Ursula's always been my favorite villain. And so I'd always wanted to play her, like in the regular stories that we know. But then this came along and it gave me a chance to not only play Ursula, but to play Ursula in a story about Ursula, where Ursula gets to talk to everybody. So it was a dream, and then even bigger than I expected. So
this show itself, I mean, it's based around a Disney show, but this is for Disney fans who've grown up. It's over 16s only.
Oh, yes, for sure. It is definitely not a kid's show. I know we have puppets in our show, and things
Puppets
are
are for
very
everybody.
bright and
Come on.
Puppets are amazing. I love puppets. Don't get me wrong. No, I'm just saying that it could be deceptive if you just look at the photos and see puppets, then go, oh, sure, it's for my 7-year-old, which we've had, which was rather awkward based on the subject matter and some of the cursing and blue language in our show. But it's very much an adult show. It's very fun and it's entertaining. We hope it's moving for you. It's a celebration of knowing who you are and celebrating who you are, even if the world may think that you shouldn't do those kinds of things. And we're very happy to bring the show.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, you get to be the Disney diva that Disney would never do, really, don't you?
Exactly. I get to be a Disney diva and just a diva in general, which is my favorite. And so why not get to play the good bad girl? You know what I mean?
Now, I mean, you've performed in shows all over the world, Broadway being obviously one of your second homes. And what's it like touring the UK and seeing some of the fantastic venues we have here? Because I'm sure we've got some theatres that are older than the US and Canada.
No, for sure. You definitely do. I'm used to touring, but I've never gotten to work in the UK. I've always loved coming here. Most specifically, I came to London, obviously, to see shows on the West End before they would go over to Broadway sometimes, or just to come and experience the history here. Because, history's a thing here. It actually exists here. And unlike in the US, where I feel like we like to tear it down and build something new on top of it, you guys honor your history, which I love. It's been lovely because every time I've gone to a city, it's been a new place. So it's always a new adventure. I try and go out and visit each city and meet the people that are local here, and love seeing cathedrals that are 1,000 years old. It's been kind of overwhelming in the sense of I love history, and history is just everywhere. Also, my ancestry is from here, so it sort of feels a bit like coming home in a weird, I don't know, DNA genetic ancestor way. So I've felt very welcomed every place I've gone, and everybody's been so lovely, and so I've really really enjoyed my time.
Now, you're bringing dark humor to the stage. Has there been places which have lapped this up more than others as well? Have you noticed that some bits of the UK are more ready for this than others?
For sure, there's a specific word that I won't say here, but it gets a very big response. And in some cities, it's a gasp. In some cities, it's like a howl with applause, like yes. But mostly it's been received well. But it's so interesting how varied the responses are. Because I come from the U.S., which geographically speaking is a tad bigger than here in the UK,
It's a
right?
smidgen, yeah.
Just a smidge. You guys think 2 hours is a long drive, and that's how long it takes to get along across Los Angeles. You know what I mean? So it's interesting timing wise. I'm like, we're done. Wow, we're there now. Great. But because I think I'm used to bigger geographical distances, it's still surprising to me how varied the responses are from major city to major city. Because like we think of the West and the South and the North in the US being very different kinds of people. It's the same here. It's very much the same here, where you all have different phrases and things you love in the show and things you don't, and it varies by city. So it's been really rewarding to get to witness all those responses and sort of try and keep track of like who likes that and who doesn't, and is it the northern thing or is it a southern thing, and the North very much likes certain words, and the South very much stays silent. So
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Midlands audience takes it all. I mean,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ooh, Midlands. Okay, let's figure this out. So,
well,
yeah.
we've got our own distinct accents and a whole different set of words for things as well. So we'll probably have to teach you some of the Midlands, Black Country, and Birmingham dialects when you're down here.
Yes, please. Teach me everything.
Okay, we'll see if we can find some new filthy words for you as well that you can incorporate into things. But what's been the most fun, other than the sweary bits? What's been the most fun about playing this role?
I think it's been really lovely to, in a way, have permission to explore a darker side, a side that sort of doesn't give a crap, if you forgive me. But like, it's really lovely to feel empowered, and then because I do feel like I'm empowering others in the same way. Like, I love the reminder of let's be who we are and rejoice in who we are, every bit of it. As a big girl in the world, it's sort of like not thought that I could be sexier or that I could be powerful and I don't know, incredible, I guess. And to feel that way on stage, to feel like I get to represent a group of people maybe that are thought down of, and to do it well, it's really exciting. Yeah, so who doesn't like to be a villain? When I feel like I'm not necessarily in my everyday life, I try not to be a villain in my everyday life. So maybe I get to express all those deep dark secrets in my inner soul that never get to come out, but I get to get them out on stage, and in a positive and fun way. So
So we're entering a world with magical music, no sort of size shaming, which is essential, I think. And but you get to be sexy, fun, and exceptionally naughty. Throw in some sorcery, and who knows what could happen next with those suckers all over.
Exactly. There's lots of suckers. There's lots of fun and fabulous puppetry and wonderful, incredible performers that I get to perform with. It's really, really fun time. Bring your friends, bring your family. Don't bring your children. Leave them at home. Have a lovely drink with us, but it really is. We want you to come and we want you to have a good time, and we hope everybody does.
Okay, I'll read the warnings again. Age 16, strong language, partial nudity, scenes of a sexual nature, flashing lights, not a warning, blooming awesome songs, fantastic diva, and somebody whose talent is going to absolutely knock your socks off. That's Shawna Hamic. Thank you for joining us. Have a brilliant one with the show. Break a leg, but don't damage the suckers, okay?
Exactly. No, I'm going to keep everything. Everything's going to be great. The suckers are good. We're all tip-top shape, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, Dinky Music are up to their usual business of music. They like that. The audience loves it too. They've got more released work on the way, and no doubt they'll be playing a gig or two. So tell us more. I'm joined by Gav. How you doing, sir?
Hello. How's it going, Jace?
Oh, good here. And we have just one of your number, because usually I'm trying to work with 3 images turning up.
Yes, I'm trying to get the band more involved in these interviews. I've got we've got a couple coming up this week that they're going to be helping me out with, I think. So because I'm just saying the same thing every time, so I've literally got like a sheet of answers here.
But you do look cool in your hat, which helps.
Well, it's just because I'm going bald, you see. So it's
I wear headphones on that one, so I gave up years ago and worrying about it. But there we go.
I'm almost on the verge of giving up, Jace.
But I mean, it's a stress of the music industry. It can send you that way, can't it?
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
So what is going on? Because the back catalogue is sitting there waiting to be discovered if people haven't heard of Dinky, but there is an awful lot more new stuff on the way too.
Yeah, so we are releasing our new album, which is called Ghosts, and that's coming out on the 6th of July. There's a pre-order on iTunes. I think it's the week before on the 29th. And it's also available to pre-order on our Bandcamp page. I'll give the links at the end. But yeah, we've been working on this album for about 2 years. It was I don't like the COVID word, the C word.
Yeah,
but
back in the day.
It kind of is obviously the first thing that we've managed to be able to record and release after COVID. So
you
yeah,
did do stuff during it though. I mean, you were recording in all sorts of strange places and hilltops and whatever else.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, we were managing to do sort of videos outside when you can socially distance, but being able to rehearse was really difficult. So after all of that fiasco died down and we were able to get in a room together, that's kind of when we just started to build up some songs. And yeah, we decided we wanted to just make an album. And as soon as we were ready, we just hit lots of different studios. We did lots of demos, and then we worked out through demoing the tracks which ones we wanted to keep and how they should be played, and then we went in to record it properly. So it's a really nice process, actually. It was just it was 2 years, sounds like a long time, but I mean a lot of that was just sort of sitting around waiting for mixes and things.
Oh, right, okay,
yeah. We weren't in a studio just trying to battle with these songs for 2 years.
Mm.
And I think it took us about 6 or 7 months to record it, and then there was just a bit of a lull just due to other commitments and things like that.
There's a time of reflection, really, wasn't it, just to make sure you're happy with everything you put down?
Yeah, and it's quite a big album as well, so it's 15 songs in total. And yeah, I think that's part of the reason why it took a while as well, because we got a bit carried away. We had a lot of music that we wanted to record, and it all just seemed like it fit within this kind of collection of songs. So we talked about possibly doing a double album. We talked about possibly releasing 2 albums out of it, but in the end we just said, let's just throw it all together, because it seems to fit together quite well musically. So that's what we've gone for.
But you're doing it digitally, but does this mean you're also putting it on plastic as well?
We are going to have a limited number of CDs. Remember them? Compact discs?
Yeah, just plastic, yeah.
Yeah, basically. We're going to have some CDs, just a limited edition. What we wanted to create with this was one of those old school album experiences, when you buy it, it's in one of those jewel cases and you've got the lyric booklet. And so we've done all of that.
I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah. So we're old school, basically. We treated it like an old school album, like an event type thing. So it's got a lyric booklet. It's got, it's got the old style casing.
Got pictures of you stuck to it and everything.
Yeah, we got pictures of us looking all sassy inside.
Yeah, you and your different hat collection.
There's a few hats in there. Yeah,
different ways to disguise it. But are you going maybe cassettes as well if it really lifts off?
No, I don't think so. I think we're just purely CD. I think that's just, and it's really limited. I think the problem with the last one is we did the last one on CD as well as digitally, and most people nowadays, they obviously just access the music through iTunes and Spotify and places like that. So we still had like a box of those CDs left over because people were just downloading it from other places. So we just made the decision not to bother this time around. I think if there's a demand for it, we'll put a few more out, but I think we're just going to keep it at a low quantity just for for those people that remember CDs.
They do make really nice coasters though, if you have got any left over.
Yeah, they're good at scaring pigeons away as well.
Really, just
it's the refraction of the light. So if you don't like the album, this is
dangle them on some string in the garden.
Yeah, if you've got pigeon problems, it's also quite a cheap cure for that. So I mean,
it works. We like it.
Why not? Why?
Yeah. Okay. So the name of the album is.
Name of the album is Ghosts.
And it's available via?
From the 6th of July, it'll be available on all major digital platforms. And the pre-orders are available on Bandcamp and Spotify at the moment. If you visit our website, which is dinky-music.co.uk, all the links are on there. Lots more pictures of us looking really sassy.
That's to be expected.
That's where you can find us, basically.
Okay, so I was doing a recap, and I didn't think you'd struggle as much with some of the answers on that one. Anything else we should name check the rest of the band whilst we're here, because otherwise they'll be in trouble.
Oh, I've got to give a name check to them because they are very much the band. But Adam Hollyhead, guitarist, and Danny Foster, drums. There's just the three of us now. We're down to a three-piece, so I'm playing bass as well as guitar. We're kind of just mixing it around. But yeah, the three of us are, we are the band. Obviously it'd be great if they could come and do more of these interviews with me. But yeah, absolutely, it's been a wonderful. It's been because we've been together for about 12 years now, and it still feels really fresh, and we're writing really well. And it's been really exciting. We've been doing some really interesting music videos lately, and we've got plans for next year. We've got new music already ready to go. We've got some surprises coming out next year as well. So there's just a really nice energy between the three of us, and yeah, big love to those two.
Yeah, and they are technically friends now.
Yes, we could probably socialise outside where we're not allowed to talk about the band, or you just talk about other things. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, they're great. They're great guys. It's this. I think that's the key thing for me. Every time someone asks me what makes a band, whatever, or I think it's the people that make the band, and then the music follows after. I think you've got to just get along with people and be kind of have similar kind of ideas in terms of what you want to do, and it just makes it healthy, The
sound sits exactly where I listen to music. I'm looking forward to hearing the album. Right, let's take a track from you now. What track can we listen to, please?
This is a song called "It's Not About You."
Okay, so it's certainly not about me, but what is it about?
Oh, it's about a troubled ex-girlfriend of a friend of mine. I've got to be careful because I write a lot about people, and I don't want people to know what songs are about them, so I'm a bit cryptic. But it's about a friend's girlfriend who was quite troubled, and it's I'm not really sure who it's about actually, but it's. But it's not about you, it's not about me. That's the chorus. So
okay, well, in full-on Baby Reindeer style, people will be searching through your social media trying to work out who it's about at some point. Meanwhile, Gav from Dinky, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
At the Stafford Gatehouse Theatre, Twelfth Night, A Cornish Tale, is on stage until the 7th of July. Throughout, there's some magical music put together by the wonderful Evolution of Fishermen. I have 3 of their number with me now. The only 3 are in the show, but 3 of the number. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we have Lucinda, Sam and Loris. Hello.
Hello.
Right, that's official. We've done the hellos. That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
And first of all, I've got to give you huge commendation for absolutely everything you do in this show. I know everyone works hard, but you guys must be working the hardest. Are you going to admit to that?
Oh, absolutely not. No chance.
No.
No chance. You should see the amount of work that everyone else has put into the show. Yeah.
But there's barely moments where you're off stage.
No, that's
That is true. Yeah. We're on stage a lot, including the interval.
Yes.
Which I suppose.
Well, and a preamble, is it? What is it beforehand? Because you're doing about 20 minutes
Preamble's
beforehand.
good.
Yeah, 25-minute pre-show.
Yeah, 20 minutes. Is it like 15, 20 minutes? Or I'm not, to be honest, it just depends on however long it takes for the audience to get in and sit down. And then we get a signal, so we just sort of play the songs that we've got, and then we've got sort of a set figured out. And then, if that's not enough, then we'll play a couple more tunes. But
You're multi-talented, aren't you?
Oh, well,
I've just been
that's very kind of you.
for a very long time.
That's barely possible, because you're all at the lower end of your 20s, surely.
Sadly not for me, but you two be.
25, right in the middle. Yeah.
If anyone wants to know.
No, we won't cover off when you're getting birthday cards sent to you. That's probably on your social media. But first of all, before we talk more about what you do in the show, which is a lot, tell us about the whole evolution of getting you here.
That's quite mad. So.
Yeah, so we're already, as you've said, we're already a band outside of the Gatehouse. We've been playing together for 2 years. We formed after drama school, and we play a lot of like contemporary folk music. But then me and Lucy both got the Midsummer Night's Dream that was here last year. So we both worked last year. Became pretty good friends with Sean. Managed to get him to come down to a gig and get Mike Groves, the producer, down. And then somehow in the idea of this play, a band was thrown into that, and we were asked to be said band for to write the music.
So that's the thing. There's music that's been written. It's unique to this production, and the way it's performed, I think, is also quite unique to this production as well, isn't it? Because as we said, you're on before the show. You get to interact with the audience then. Then the fourth wall goes up, more or less, give or take some Mr. Walsh's work. But you then are there, providing music, but also characterizations as well. So you've all got parts. Having seen the pictures of you in your natural environment as a band, I wasn't sure what you'd be wearing today. Because your costumes aren't a million miles away from what you guys all wear when you're performing.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I did try on the costume and think, I would actually wear this in real life.
I think if me and Loris had our way, the whole band would be dressed like that every gig.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. We have like a few different hats that we put on. We play ourselves in real life, which there are 5 of us, I will say as well. 5 of us in the band, and we 3 are doing this. But we play that, and then we also play the band that exists in the world. We also play like the soundtrack. We like in moments where we don't exist necessarily as the band playing live on stage. So it's really nice to be able to.
Parts as well.
And we also play small
there's
parts.
actual acting that takes place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all acting musicians, so we were trained together at a school called Rose Bruford. And that's where we all met. So the course that we did was acting and music.
So tell us about the 2 that aren't here. I mean, do you not like them that
Bella.
much? Or?
Bella plays the flute, and Liam plays the banjo and the mandolin, and we all sort of sing as well. So they're sorely missed.
Yeah, Liam Bull and Bella Band, who are fantastic
musicians.
It's just
It 3 fits the show. That's the casting.
Yeah. This all those are the reasons for a million and one reasons, but we're definitely in our hearts we're a 5-piece. And we'll always be so.
But it's
Have
cool.
they been to see it though?
And they will be
hopefully they will be coming.
Yeah.
But it's cool because the great thing about the band is that we're always like, Liam, for example, went and played a gig as Evolution of Fishermen, but he was by himself. Do you know what I mean? It's great. Just like any chance that we can really get to sort of be the band is, because we're still playing the same songs, we're still,
And a number of you turn up to a gig and it doesn't really matter which ones.
It works for all the different arrangements of the band.
Yeah,
okay. So into the show again then, and tell us about your characters.
Well, I play Pat, the very famous character of Pat in Twelfth Night.
Yeah, definitely not made up.
Definitely not made up by me. And I'm in the band. I don't know if I say it. I think I think it's one word in the show.
But you're also understudying.
But I'm understudying
the lead,
Viola
yeah.
and Olivia.
So
yeah.
that's, I mean, again, that's very much putting you in the heart of it, and it's a great
Yeah.
place to have. I mean, obviously, Pat would be missed on the night you're understudying.
Absolutely,
Absolutely,
yeah.
And who would get the other word?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
know.
it'd be a disaster, wouldn't
It's
it?
been
It's better not to
Absolutely.
discuss such trivialist things
Yeah.
because it could go terribly. Yeah.
Okay, then, Captain, what's going on?
Oh yeah. I also play the sea captain, which is a really nice. It opens in our version. It opens the show. Normally it opens with Orsino, but we wanted to really focus on the shipwreck, so we take the second scene and put it at the front, and it's like there's rescue that happens at the start. That's my one scene, and then the rest of that I'm playing as the band as well. I'm called Jimmy.
Mm-hmm. You didn't have to make your name up.
I didn't have to, but I did. And yeah. But once that scene, it's quite nice. Once that scene's done for me, I can just then be the band for the rest of the show, and then also playing ourselves. We have quite a bit of power with the audience
Yeah.
in the interval as well.
And we get hang out in a bar every once in a while.
Yeah.
A regular in the pub.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up the Rose and Crown.
That's it. And I play Valentine, who is in the script.
Yeah.
And Valentine is also a member of the band, the fictional version of the band in our production. So like, be on stage playing a song as the band, and then go up and do the scene in character as the same person, which is quite cool. I feel like.
Yeah.
One of Orsino's. I work for Orsino. I'm one of Orsino's Fisher folk.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice, being an evolutionary fisherman and playing a fisherman.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. There's a lot of fish puns. There's a great song that Bob Golding, who plays Toby Belch in the cast, introduces to the Water Boys, and it's a song called Fisherman Blues, which, upon listening to it and playing it, would just
It's one of my favourite songs that
Yeah,
we play.
why have we not been playing this song all the time?
It's a beautiful, beautiful song.
Yeah, very, very nautical themes going on.
And we're here. We are sat in Cornwall, aren't we, as well? And
Yeah.
that in itself, it's a wonderful stage setting. You've got
It's beautiful, isn't it?
the background to where the netting has come from, rescued from the ocean and brought to the Stafford Gatehouse, and it does feel like you're there. I mean, when the seagulls go past during the show, I'm convinced I'm sat there waiting for them to come and nick my chips.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. You should be eating chips in the audience. But yeah.
I thought it was someone laughing, and then I looked up and went, "Oh no, it's just the seagulls."
Seagulls, yeah.
that one didn't land. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a great set, though, isn't it? Yeah, I
It's
think
beautiful.
the
Oh, yeah, it's
musical
incredible.
side of it's
What
brilliant.
they've done with it.
An
yeah.
absolute credit to the
Yeah.
design team here. Like, I just really love the painting on the backdrop. It just looks so realistic, even though it's very clearly an illustration. When you look at it from the audience's perspective, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's just again jump back to that opening scene, because I mean, as you said, it's been moved around to make the show work. But my word, doesn't it work? It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
part of that must be amazing.
Yeah.
But you guys don't actually get to see it, which is the disappointment for you. Because having seen it, and when I was down here for the dress night, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you've
is
seen
that
it,
the
right?
ship?
The shipwreck. Yeah. At the
Yeah.
start. Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it, and what they do with the light and the movement to depict that is just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
I would love to see it because I've
When
heard
you're in it.
when you're in it,
It's a
you're
little
just
bit stressful.
running around in the dark, sweating and trying to get the note right. But,
It's the start of the night, so every moment of the audience's perception, the whole show hinges on what you do.
Yeah.
No
so-
more pressure, of course.
Oh yeah. We opened the show in many ways. Yeah. That is such a big thing actually. Setting up the show. What's been interesting for our pre-show sets, the gig at the start, is like working out how a gig of ours works in a theatre setting, and how the songs we play set you up for the show you're about to see, or set you up for the feeling you want an audience to be at. So like, we have a song about a dead dog, and it's like that's probably not appropriate to get everyone feeling like kind of sad and cry at the start of the show. But songs about lovely days and various other joyous things.
And also some Cornish reels.
Cornish songs.
We do have an Irish reel in there as well.
It's been really cool to try and adapt what we do outside of the context of this to make it really suit what our role is in the show. Yeah.
But it is very much like you were made for this. That's the thing, isn't it? If ever it was going to be happening, you were the guys to do it, and there was no way it was going to be anybody else. And it worked so well.
Oh,
so
that's kind of you.
all the details on the socials and the music, where people can find out about your two estranged members and how they can see you all perform together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we've got our tag is at EO Fisherman.
On
Yeah.
Instagram.
Find
Yeah.
us on.
We've recently released an EP. Just before starting this, we recorded an EP with a producer called Gus White, and that was incredible. It's 4 songs. It's called Days Like These, and that's on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can stream that everywhere.
iTunes.
iTunes.
All the above, really.
But yeah, I guess mainly the main places that we post on are Instagram and obviously our streaming platforms. But we've got Facebook and Twitter
yeah.
and all of that. If you just look up Evolution
Yeah.
of Fishermen, you'll find us there.
And the handle is always EO Fishermen.
Yeah.
That's EN, not AN.
Yeah.
Which is
Plural, 5.
Yeah,
fishermen.
there's multiple fishermen.
Yeah.
The full set.
Yes,
yeah, that's the one.
But
yeah,
no
yeah.
falsetto.
No,
yeah,
sometimes if the moment's
sometimes.
right, if the time is right.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
this
we'll
guy.
see how that works out. Do check out the music. Meanwhile, do come along and check them out at the Stafford Gatehouse Theatre, gatehousetheatre.co.uk to grab your tickets or give the box office a buzz and come along and see what is an amazing production of Twelfth Night, really looking resplendent on stage, sounding awesome, and these guys are a massive part of that. Thanks for having a chat with us. Keep up the
Thanks,
good work. Break a leg for the bits where you need to break a leg, and keep everything else intact.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
so much.
So
Richard. Thanks for
much.
having us, man. It's been lovely.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. Thanks.
Now, musician Richard Sewell is working hard on some new projects and bringing his music to a wider audience through the magic of the internet. He joins me now to tell me where we can find him. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you?
Oh, okay, thank you. Now, looking at the profile, I'm sure we've spoken in the past. You're much more of a live musician than I think a studio one, but your studio work always stands up to the live performances. But you're mixing it up a little bit at the moment and doing some work through your TikTok channels.
That's right, yeah. So yeah, I've done a lot of live performances and a lot of recording. So yeah, thanks for that. But yeah, I've decided that I'm going to be going through my TikTok account and basically try and reach that wider audience that's available online.
So what have you got in store for us? Because you've said you've got quite a back catalogue. Are you going to be dipping in and out of some of the things you've done personally and with some of the bands you've played with in the past?
Yeah. Well, there's a few little numbers that I've got. I can scale it down a little bit to my genre because some of the bands I was in before were considerably heavy. Um, but yeah, so basically it's a bit of a rewrite on some of them. But yeah, I've got a back catalogue of the stuff. We spoke before when I launched my Fade Into Black EP a few years back. Since then, I've carried on. I've got a few new songs that haven't actually ever been released. So there's going to be stuff that I'm going to be playing that people probably wouldn't have heard. So.
But even your heavier stuff, though, you're still melodic with it. It's not just noise. It is a tuneful experience.
Yeah. One of my old bands, we went for the old school approach, and we mixed it up. There's nothing worse, I think, than when you've got the same song over and over again. You know, that kind of same song repeating itself over and over again, but with different lyrics.
And too much fuzz pedal. I mean, fuzz pedals are great, but there's only so much fuzz you can take.
Yeah, you got to mix it up a bit, otherwise, I think people's ears just turn off after a bit.
I mean, metal itself is obviously amazing mix within the genre, and the new metal days. I think you were pretty much in new metal at one point, weren't you? Really?
We went through that stage, yeah. But I think we kind of took all genres when I was in them kind of bands where we mixed it up. So we kept it original. We never defined ourselves as a specific metal genre. We called ourselves metal, and we wrapped everything else around it. I mean, some of the guitarists that one of my band members used to do, he wasn't into the really heavy stuff, but he blended a melodic type of aspect to heavy songs that give it a unique touch. So a lot of the songwriting that I did with him, I've learnt a lot. And so going back to my original stuff now that I'm doing, I try and mix it up, keep it. Some of it's melodic, some of it's a little bit more upbeat. But again, I don't I don't scream and shout on these though. I do use my proper voice.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a treat for everybody. I know that much. And it's it's something that now you could perform just acoustically if you wanted to. I think where you are with the songs, but you're still keeping it electric.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I can perform it acoustically. Obviously, if I'm writing it and everything and recording it, then it's going to be electric. So I've got my vocals, guitar, do the bass, drums. I have to rely on software to do because I can kind of play, but I wouldn't put anyone through that.
Not at the same time as playing guitar, though. So
yeah, that'll be a treat.
But
that would be one hell of a show.
That'd be impressive. I mean, the TikTok sensation there. I'm sure it's already going to impress on TikTok. Right, we're going to listen to one of your tracks in a minute, which you've got already in the can. Meanwhile, though, where do we find you and how do we enjoy your music?
I'm on TikTok. Rich Sewell 75. I'm also under the nickname of Ricardo. Long story. My father-in-law nicknamed me Ricardo a while back. He's Italian. So I'm on Instagram again, Rich Sewell 75, and also got all my stuff on Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Amazon Music. All the good platforms, basically. My stuff is there, ready for
It can
download.
be found. Stick it on repeat, make him a bit of money. That'll do the job. Sewell is spelled Sewell. Rich, you can spell that one on your own. I'm not helping you out with that. And the 7 and 5, they're just numbers. They're on the top row of the keyboard. You'll be great. So we can do all of that. Right, so what are we going to listen to now?
So we can play Down.
Okay, tell us a bit about this one.
So Down was, I always introduce this one as a cheerful, upbeat melody. This one's called Down. So it's just about the trials and tribulations of basically when you're feeling not quite with it, when you've got like mental health kind of thing, like you're struggling with yourself, etc.
It reminds you you're not alone in that, though, and to to work with others to hopefully avoid the down moments.
Exactly, and that's what. Hopefully, that's what my music will do. Is like, you know, it's actually kind of pretty to say to people that yeah, I've got this, but I'm getting through it. It's good, you know, and this is my release. This is how I'm getting it out.
Well, you keep releasing loads of music alongside all of that to not only bring up your state of mind, but everybody else's. Richard Sewell, aka Rich Sewell 75, on pretty much every social media platform. The man, the music, the myth, the legend, and the notes that come with it will be amazing. Rich, always good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us, and keep up the good work.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers, Jason.
Won't you take me home? Feel dead inside. I'm on my own. Simple reasons given to be.
With Armed Forces Day over the weekend, now is as good a time as any to remind everyone what a great workforce you can make with the veterans we have in our society. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Alistair Halliday, CEO of Forces Employment Charity. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jim. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Now, when it comes down to it, we've got a huge number of people who, at a point in time, will leave the armed forces, whether it be due to the end of a contract, wanting to change their lifestyle, or purely for the fact that they feel that the rigours of the role that they have may not be quite what they want to do physically. But whatever happens, you've got people who are bound to be very often physically fit and very able, both mentally as well, to take on a lot of the challenges that the world of industry and beyond has to offer.
Absolutely. I mean, every year it's probably about 14 to 15,000 members of the armed forces come to the end of their time. Sometimes they may have spent only a few weeks, or it could be 25, 30, 35 years. There's a whole huge variety, and it's really great that we support them to make sure make transition is good and they find the right sort of areas of employment for them.
Yeah, because I mean, transition is the important thing. You're going from a very ordered and literally regimented lifestyle in many cases, and it then changes into one whereby accommodation is suddenly something you're thinking of, and there's a lot of other areas which will come into a veteran's world, and making it easy to get into the world of work and use those absolutely amazing skills and the level of training they have, which will push them past well beyond what many people receive in their own careers outside of the armed forces. It's just a huge talent pool which needs to be tapped into.
100%. I mean, it's absolutely key. I mean, people in the armed forces have huge types of transferable skills. Some clearly have things like engineering or air engineering or nuclear submariners. I mean, those are specific things which are very attractive to those areas of industry. But perhaps more importantly, it's the other things like resilience and sense of humor, leadership, teamwork. All of those sorts of things are really transferable. So when people are serving, they don't necessarily realize that the strength and the value of those things. But now a lot of really good employers are seeing that, and they want to recruit this military talent.
Absolutely. And whether it be, as you say, in some of the engineering background, I mean, the Remies are pretty much made to go into civilian life and make a massive difference in the world of mechanics, engineering and beyond. But sometimes it's more interesting to work out what some of the army teams who were more ground force would go into. Yet you've still got, so some great skills that are built up.
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, it used to be, again, years ago, people just think, oh, but they'll be good in security or something. But now it's quite clear that they can go into almost any sort of sector across the country. You know, quite often it might be a project management role, it might be a logistics thing, it might be a tech cyber. And quite a few go into financial services, and they've had no background in sort of finance at all before. But some of these things are really very, very interesting. So we are making sure that whatever they're interested in, we can get a better pathway into these different sectors. And quite often they're nothing to do with their service, in the service area.
So it is a chance to start on a new career and find one which they can settle into, but still use, say, a lot of those pre in place skills, but also develop as well. And you've got people who've got proven learning abilities. That's again another part of it. That you know that they can follow instructions and behave in such a way as they are not putting others at risk.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Jason. I mean, it's everyone knows about people in the armed forces. It's great training. They're well trained, but it's not really the training courses they've done. It's the fact they have been trained. They're trainable and they are used to being trained, so they can pick up new things very quickly. And I think that's almost more important than the actual specific training they've had. And so when people join, it might be they don't have all the skills and experience on day one, but they pick it up very quickly. And they want to learn, and they are very trainable, and that again is come from their service time.
So obviously, working as a charity, you're working with a huge number of veterans, and as a veteran, it's in some people's minds it sounds old, but it's not at all, is it? You're looking at people that could have done 10 years service and maybe 27.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it is absolutely. Many people think, and they associate it with people, with medals and sort of fairly elderly individuals around the cenotaph and everything. Absolutely. People are a veteran if they've served even a few days, and it may be that they are 19, 20 years old. So they are still veterans. People who've had service in the armed forces can be veterans. So that image isn't necessarily the right one. There are clearly many veterans like that, but so we provide support to all of them. Whatever age, no matter how many years or or service that they've done, we actually do provide that support. And again, for many women quite often don't necessarily think, or military women don't necessarily like to consider themselves as veterans, but they are. But sometimes you use the phrase ex-forces, people who served, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, but well, either way, it's certainly something which you shouldn't put off employing someone. It is just a gateway to knowing that they've got a skill set which will be useful in your workplace.
Absolutely, huge transferable skills, which means that they're tremendously attractive to an increasing number of employers now. Really get this, and they're filling skill shortages. So it's great to see that they're more in demand across the country.
Yeah, and again, with people who may not have necessarily the skills to get themselves a job because it's something that they haven't had to do before. Writing a CV is an interesting one, particularly in some cases where you're covered by the Official Secrets Act. There's certain things you can and can't say. So it is about bringing them and highlighting them, and that's what the Forces charity is doing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an amazing thing because people in the service, they don't have a CV. I mean, I served for 33 years in the Royal Navy. I didn't have one. I had a bio. But then when you come to leave, you think people say, what's your CV like? And you're doing it for the first time. So what we do an awful lot of support to make sure that they start to get in this right. I mean, I have to say, it's great if people start to do it even during their service careers, which enables the transition to be easier when it does come. So starting to build up, you could say a civilian type of CV earlier than they actually need it, because when they do need it, it's a bit more mature.
Where do we go to find out more information about all the work that you're doing, and also to see those probably potentially job boards for those who wish to work in the being now ex-military?
Sure. So our website is forcesemployment.org.uk, and we've got a lot of information in there, a lot of programs which support various people, whether they're early service leavers or people who are in transition, also to veterans and to military women, to those in the justice system. And we even have a program supporting Afghans with a defence connection. So it's all on our website.
Check out those details there. Well, for now, CEO of the Forces Employment Charity, Alistair Halliday, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. Lovely to see you.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 785 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.